Good morning. Welcome to the John Mendola Show. We are back for another run, 2017-18 here on WILK. Thank you for joining us online, thejohnmendolashow.com. Follow us on Twitter at John Mendola Show. Of course, you could do so at the same on Instagram, the John Mendola Show. And thank you. It is 10:03 this morning as we get ready for high school sports, college sports here in northeastern Pennsylvania. And little heat week coming up shortly. We're going to talk with some field hockey players coming up here on the show. Of course, today is the 3-on-3 Cody Barace basketball tournament in Scranton at Scranton Prep. So we'll talk a little bit about that as that approaches coming up here. And we'll get to our 2017 high school football preview magazine. That'll be out in the next couple of weeks as we await the season, which is coming up. First game the end of the month. So at the end of August, we'll get to that first game. Well, let's welcome in the Carbondale Area Chargers football team. Head coach Larry Gabriel with us. And, Coach, welcome into the show.
How's it going, John?
Things are going well. And, of course, we brought the guys in, so that's always great. We appreciate that. Talk a little bit about some of these summer workouts and how you guys are doing.
Well, this year we took a little bit different approach. In the past, I thought I got a little bit crazy with the amount of time that we spend in the off season, so I tried to give them a little bit more time off. Going into the last few years, I don't think we came into the season as hungry as I think we possibly should have been. And I thought that could have been with how much time we spent in the weight room or skilled drills and things like that. So we tried to scale that back just a little bit, and we have the ability to do that when we return everybody for the third straight year. Of
course, a school like yours, a little smaller in size, so you make it guys playing other sports, and some coaches really welcome that. Talk about some of these athletes you have. Do they play multiple sports?
Yes, most players on our team play some type of other sport. I try to encourage that. In a school our size, we don't really fight each other. Our school is pretty good about that. Our boys coaches cooperate with each other, and there's really not a tug of war for athletes. So most of our football players participate in something else.
Coach, at the end of the year, I'm sure you have some meetings with your coaches and maybe even with your players where you guys were at, saying, okay, this is what we need to do better next year as a football team. What were some of those bullet points that you guys had for improvement here in 2017?
Defensively, we feel we were a very poor tackling team. That has a lot to do with our fear of injury. We feel we didn't practice hard enough last year because we didn't think we had the depth in some positions, so we were afraid to get guys dinged up. But when you look back at our success in 2012 and 13, the one key difference was how hard we practiced, especially defensively. So we know we have to be fundamentally sound in defense, be good tacklers. Offensively, we didn't string together enough positive plays. We would be 3 and out too often. And back on the defensive side of the ball, again, we would just allow our opponent to possess the ball for way too long.
Coach, Noah Yates not able to make it today, but a big part of this team this year. Talk a little bit about his skill set, what you're excited about with him for 2017.
Well, he has abilities that you can't coach. He has size, he has athletic ability, he has great hands. There's some things that you just can't coach, and he possesses some of those things, and we're excited that it's going to be his 4th year on both sides of the ball.
And how about leadership-wise, what does Noah bring?
Noah is a quiet kid. He leads by example. So he goes out and plays hard. He really doesn't have to run his mouth about anything. He just goes out there and goes about his business and just hope everybody else follows suit. Yeah,
and those are the guys you kind of like, knowing that you have guys that just kind of set the bar and hope other guys could rise to it. We're going to be talking with a couple of guys here in this first segment here on the John Mendola Show. And, Coach, tell us a little bit about Andrew Larson before we get to him.
Andrew's a 4-year starter at center. He hasn't played much defensively until last year. He played sparingly. Much to his chagrin. He wanted to be a 2-year starter, but I was a little bit nervous as a freshman and sophomore having to ask somebody to play both sides of the ball. So we're expecting him to play a key role defensively for us this year, but it's easy for us to know that offensively we start every play with a 4-year starter, and he'll be snapping the ball to a 4-year starting quarterback, so we feel pretty good about the start of every play.
Well, sounds good. Let's welcome in Andrew Larson here on the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire Services. And Andrew, welcome into the show. Let's talk a little bit about your senior year. How excited are you?
I am very excited.
And with that excitement, of course, comes a lot of hard work. Talk about the hard work that you guys have put in.
We put in plenty of time in the weight room, and even some of us have gone and done CrossFit out of the school, and running plays with coach. And
guys around you up front, let's talk a little bit about who's going to surround you up front.
We'll have Reese Fuchs, who's here, playing guard. We'll have Kevin Kelly playing guard, and Sean Connolly, who's also here with us, playing left tackle. and right tackle is still a toss-up.
As far as physicality this year, what do you see with your line as far as physicality?
I think we'll be really good. They have all put in work and are all physical players. I think we'll have a nice, easy time on the way.
Also involved in baseball. So what do you like about the sport of baseball?
It's fun. I like the competition, the extra work.
How about the positions you play there?
Catcher.
All right. And part of the National Honor Society, so you obviously do a good job in the classroom. Talk about working hard there and some areas of study that you really enjoy.
Well, I try my best. I'm really into computer sciences. I pursue that.
And then life after high school, is college football something you're thinking about as well?
Yeah, I'm looking into that. I'm trying to find a good school to play at.
And then how about some role models in your life?
Well, I really look up to my head football coach, Larry Gabriel.
Well, that's always a good thing, and I'm sure Coach is honored by that. That biggest rivalry for you guys, talk about for you personally, who do you like going against?
Old Forge.
All right. Well, we wish you well this year. Thanks for coming in, Andrew.
Thank you.
All right. So Andrew Larson there from the Carbondale Area Chargers football team. And, Coach, we got another guy here we want to talk about. And tell us a little bit about Frank Burke and what Frank will have to offer here for the Chargers.
Frank's sophomore year, he started at fullback. We had an injury to our starting fullback, and he gained some valuable experience as a sophomore starting a fullback for us. He's been playing linebacker. He's a high-energy guy. Sometimes we have to curtail that just a little bit, put his arm around him and have a little talk on the sideline to calm it down just a little bit. But he's a guy that plays with a lot of passion, a lot of energy. We feel that he's going to benefit from his 3-year starting experience, and we're looking forward to some good things for him.
All right, very good. Let's bring in Frank Burke here on the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire Service. We talk about the Carbondale Area Chargers to kick off the 2017-18 scholastic season here in WILK. And Frank, let's talk about that energy that Coach mentioned about you. What is it about you? It's just something about you. You've always had that high energy?
Man, I don't even know if it's a problem, but yeah, it's been my entire life. Like, I absolutely get hyped up about every single thing about football. And, listen, I absolutely love this sport, and I'm so excited for this season. I've never been this excited.
Well, I guess that's why you play middle linebacker and fullback, because
yes, it is.
It pretty much sums up who your personality is. Let's talk about some of the guys around you there in the backfield this year competing for spots.
You're actually Steve Martin. He's with us here. He's gonna be playing fullback with me this year, and at running back we got Nick Videla, Dylan Orms. I'm not sure if there's a third guy there. We got Noah Yates, a tight end, of course, and then out split we got Adam Rossetti. Nick Videla can play receiver as well. I know Dylan can play receiver as well. We're very versatile in the backfield.
And as far as some of the strengths you're seeing so far in the off-season workouts with you guys, what do you think one of the strengths will be for the Chargers this season?
I think it was great that, most of the entire team was in the weight room the entire offseason. We've never seen that many guys before. And, it was really great to see kids from the younger years, sophomores this year, really care. So we're gonna be stronger this year.
And also you're involved pretty heavily in the academics, Honor Society, carrying a really nice grade point average. Talk about what you're able to do there.
Man, honestly, I guess it just comes natural. I don't want to brag or anything itself, but it's just something you got to do,
Yeah, well, not everybody does it, so congratulations to you on getting the job done in the classroom. How about some favorite subject areas for you?
I love the economics and cultures and world cultures, finances. I like that.
All right, and you're not sure next year, senior year, but
no, man,
you're kind of toss-up right now?
Yeah. If a college wants me, I guess I could play college football, but it's up to them. It's not up to me. And whoever wants me, I'll go. But if I don't make it college, that's all right with me.
Well, as far as your next step in life, I know you have a sister. Talk a little bit about, being a good role model, whether she's one for you, you're one for her, or the people in your corner kind of rooting you on, saying, come on, Frank, let's go get him.
She's already going to college this year. She's going to IUP. I don't know if I would ever go there, but if I did, then, I got someone there already. But the whole entire family, they're in my corner. They're always rooting me on. If I want to do something, they're behind me 100%. So it's pretty cool.
All right, Frank, well, hey, great to see you. Oh, I forgot to ask you about your track. What do you do in the track team?
I used to run, but then, I gained a couple pounds. Now I throw.
I think I remember that story myself. But all right, Frank, good luck, buddy.
All right, thank you.
Frank Burke from the Carbondale Area Chargers football team here on the John Mendola Show as we talk about these Chargers and what they're looking forward to in 2017. We still have a few more Chargers to talk to here coming up in a couple of minutes. And, of course, want to thank our friends at Mendocino's Pizza and Ristorante located in Daleville. Again, follow us on Twitter at John Mendola Show. And, of course, online, thejohnmendolashow.com. Let's take a time out, head out now to our local State Farm Insurance agent, Frank Surokach. Break like a good neighbor. Frank Surokach is there. We'll be back here on WILK. Welcome back to the John Mendola Show on WILK. Thanks so much for joining us as we kick off 2017-18. You're getting ready for some high school football practices, that's for sure. And we're going to talk with a couple of more Carbondale area Chargers and head coach Larry Gabriel with us. And, Coach, as we get ready for the Heat Act Week, and now here we are, another year of kind of the one scrimmage thing. Talk about how much of a difference it was for you and your coaching staff to kind of adjust to that last year. And maybe there's some positives, maybe there's not, but how did you guys do it?
I think last year we didn't realize the difference until opening night. You didn't realize how rusty you looked, and you didn't really have enough game situation practices. But I think it's an adjustment that every team had to make. And I don't really think it's going to be that big of a deal now that we're accustomed to it. I think it's easier for those teams that are senior laden and have a lot of returning starters, and we're one of those teams. So I really don't think it's going to be a problem for us.
And as far as the things you can do and can't do that first week, no hitting for a couple of days?
Nope, or everything's got to be on bags or sleds. Anytime there's contact with the player, they have to start in an engaged position. They can't have any space between them or coming and bumping each other. So we're pretty good with that. We stay within the rules and just do what we have to do. And then starting on Monday the 14th, we'll be able to bump heads a little bit. And
the scrimmage this year, who you guys go against there?
We'll be playing against Myers at 10 a.m. Saturday morning at Carbondale.
Okay, so that is after that first week, so that'll be the week of the 14th. So, we throw in, that's the 19th. That'll be that scrimmage against the Myers Mohawks. Coach, as far as this year, numbers-wise, where you guys sit, and you hear some 4A and 5A teams that are only at 30, 40 guys, and then there's a couple of smaller schools that could be pushing 50, but varies. How about for you guys there at Carbondale area?
This is the first time in a long time we're at 32. Usually we start the year around 40. We always hang on to 35 guys, but the numbers are pretty low this year. Also, I didn't pull up anybody from our freshman team. I have done that the last couple of years, but we returned so many starters that I hesitate to pull somebody up if I don't think I could get them in the game. So we're at about 32 to start on Monday. I know we have a list of guys that have played the sport before that I know had work obligations and things like that. If anybody else changes their mind, it could creep up to 40, but we're going to be starting with 32 on Monday.
All right, well, let's talk with some more guys. Coach, tell us a little bit about Sean Connolly before we get to him.
Sean's a 3-year starter up front. Offensively, is an offensive tackle. Defensively, he was played sparingly last season, but he's another kid that we would expect to be a two-way starter or competing for a starting position defensively. Very intelligent, understands the scheme, both sides of the ball, and that's to his advantage.
All right, let's welcome in Sean Connolly here on the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire Service. And Sean, let's talk about what you're excited about for this coming season.
New year, we're out of excuses. So it's going to happen. It's got to be this year, and that's just exciting.
And as far as physically this year, how do you guys think you're going to line up?
I think we could stand with the best of them. For the first time, we really made the weight program, the lifting program mandatory, and I really think it's going to show on the field. And
you work all this time in the weight room, and you put in the time along with the other guys. Talk about the camaraderie you get from some of those things, putting that time into the weight room.
Yeah, it's great. We're all brothers. Just the more time you spend with each other, the closer you get. Whether it's just goofing around the locker room, we're actually getting some work done.
Coach mentioned earlier about defensively that he wanted to see improvement there. I'll talk about what you see as far as some of these guys coming back defensively. Who do you think some of the bigger players will be there?
Definitely Noah Yates anchoring down that one end. Definitely Frank Burke. He's really, he holds it all together in the middle. And, we got plenty of good linebackers. We're good up front. So, there's no reason that we can't stop.
Sean, being a Carbondale area Charger, you got to be a well-balanced guy. All you guys seem like you're that. Another National Honor Society guy, FBLA, carrying a 4.0, ranked 14th in your class. Talk about that part. We know Frank said, hey, it comes pretty natural to him. He's pretty fortunate. How about you? You a grinder, or is it kind of, you put in your time and it's you don't have to do as much?
Well, me and Frank are infamous for grinding out in the morning, but yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. We have it pretty natural.
And mechanical engineering is something that you're looking at. Talk about where that interest came from.
I think it started when I was like 5 playing with Legos, to be honest. But yeah, just something I could really see myself doing.
All right, pretty cool. And game you're looking forward to this year?
Definitely Old Forge.
All right, that Old Forge seems to be in your guys' head, so we wish you well. Thanks for coming in, and good luck there.
Thank you.
All right, Sean Connolly, also a baseball player for the Carbondale Area Chargers as well. Well, let's move along here. And Coach Gabriel, we got another guy to talk to. Let's talk about Steve Martin. Tell us about him.
Steve's another guy that it's a 3-year starter. He had some experience, I believe, as a freshman. I believe so. I'm not 100% certain. But I believe he played defensively sparingly as a freshman. Started the last 3 years at linebacker. We've bounced him around a little bit. His position seems to change from outside to inside. Offensively, we had him starting at guard. This year, we're going to move him back for some depth at the fullback position. He's a guy that could do just about anything, and he's been open to anything.
Let's welcome in Steve Martin here on the John Mendola Show. And Steve, let's talk about what your expectations are for your team this year.
Well, we're looking very good, and everyone was in the weight room, and I really wasn't in the weight room because I was sick and stuff, and everyone just working hard and looking forward to it.
You also play a couple other sports. Talk about baseball, basketball. You're a pretty active guy.
Yeah, something to keep me in school and keep my grades up. That's what I like to do, is play sports and everything.
Talk about some of the other linebackers on your team this year. Who are all the guys there?
It's me and Frank Burke inside, and Jaden and Reese outside.
And overall, do you think that there is going to be improvement? I mean, Coach talked about it. We had one of your other teammates talk about that, the defense as far as finishing plays and making sure you guys are wrapping up.
Yes, most definitely. Both sides of the ball will be looking good. It's our senior year. We got 17, 18 seniors this year, so yeah, we're looking good.
That's a big senior class, and obviously you guys are going to need that leadership on the field. How about life after high school? What are you thinking about doing next?
I'm going to the military.
Awesome. And what's inspiring you to do that? Anybody in the family, or just something that you kind of came up with on your own?
Yes, my brother Emil, he's in the service, and that's what he talked me into it and stuff.
All right. Well, that's obviously an awesome career to maybe get around and see the world. At the same time, a righteous thing fighting for your country. So we thank you, and we wish you well with that, and good luck. Biggest rivalry for you?
Dunmore.
All right. Dunmore Bucks this year, and that game will be on the road. Last year's was at home. So good luck, Steve. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
All right. Continuing the conversation here with the Carbondale Area Chargers. And, Coach, again, one more guy to talk about, and tell us who it is.
Reese Fuchs is his returning starter up front as a guard. He's primarily played that position. We knew that he had the ability to play the defensive side of the ball, but like I said, these last couple of years we were very nervous about asking too many guys as young players to play both sides of the ball. So he's going to be starting an outside linebacker for us to start the year. Versatile athlete. He's an in-between type of guy that some teams he could probably honestly play the fullback position or tight end, but out of necessity, he's a guy that plays guard and outside linebacker for us.
All right, let's welcome in Reese Fuchs here on the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire Service. And Reese, let's talk about the camaraderie with these guys. How is it for you as a senior hanging out with these guys for a few years?
It's great. I love the brotherhood and just hanging out and chilling.
Well, not only do you have brothers on the football field, you got a couple brothers in real life. So what's it like being a brother to the people at home?
I mean, it's crazy, chaotic. Never get to sleep in, you know.
That's normal stuff, I guess. As far as being a guard and a linebacker and being able to sacrifice, as Coach said, you could be in a couple other different positions. Are you a team guy saying, hey, Coach, wherever you need me?
Yeah, pretty much.
As far as for you, social media-wise, I know you like Twitter. What do you like about it, and what do you put out there?
I just express my thoughts. I don't know.
You follow a lot of sports? You into sports?
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, go get him, Reese. We wish you well here in 2017.
Thank you.
All right, the Carbondale Area Chargers football team coach Larry Gabriel. Larry, always great to see you bringing the guys. And, of course, as you say, the numbers in the 30s, but A lot of senior leadership this year, and we wish you guys the very best.
Thanks, John.
Okay. So the Carbondale Area Chargers will shuffle out. We'll talk a little field hockey when we continue here on the John Mendola Show as we head out to our local State Farm insurance agent, Jen Ricky Loophole. Break like a good neighbor. Jen Ricky Loophole is there. We'll be back in WILK.